It's interesting how we think of affirmations as some kind of magic cure, eh? And have you ever tried them and had them not work? Yeah, of course you have. We all have. I think sometimes we've forgotten that our belief system is the key to everything. And if we are sitting there saying, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, and in the back of my head I'm going, I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke, odds are pretty good that I'm not going to experience the wealth that I'm looking for. Or how about health? You know, we know that the body is created in the image and of the likeness of God. Our vibration is that of God's stuff, which I think would be perfect, whole, and complete. Am I correct? And yet we experience disease, and you know what we do? We fight for it, don't we? We fight for our disease. We'll sit back and say, well, you know, it runs in my family. Well, you know, people of a certain age, you know, their eyesight starts to diminish. And we believe these things, don't we? And then we wonder why it is that we don't see very well once we hit 40. It's like, where's those reading glasses? Or we ask somebody in the back row to hold the program for us. We have bought into a set of beliefs, and those beliefs are creating our lives. What I'm suggesting today is that maybe we should begin to take a look and explore what it is we think we believe, and then begin to look at what it is we truly want to experience, because in order to experience that, we must begin to think differently. And it's not about saying an affirmation once or twice and thinking it's a magic cure, because it isn't. It is our belief system creating our reality. So if you want to know what's going on in your life, just take a look. It is what it is. And the only way you're going to move forward or change it or do something is begin to deny the power of the negative experience. Now, we want to sit back and we look at something like cancer and we go, yeah, but cancer kills, cancer. No, that's a belief system. It is a belief system we've bought into and we believe. And because we believe that more than we believe in health, we get to have the illness. We want to sit back and take a look at our belief systems and begin to deny the power of those systems in our life. So imagine for a moment, I was reading an essay written by Ernest Holmes, and it was kind of funny. So he says, imagine for a moment, this is his story, that somebody comes to you and asks for prayer. Anybody here ever pray for anybody? Yeah. So they come to you and they ask for prayer because they think they're an elephant. Now you look at them and you know they're not an elephant. No trunk, no great big giant ears. They're not filling the entire room. You know it's not true, right? And so you can treat for them or pray for them because you absolutely know without a doubt that they are not an elephant. But they tell you that it runs in their family. And this happens at a certain age. Now, do you believe that? Anybody here believe they're going to be an elephant when they turn 22 or... No, we don't believe that, do we? Do we believe that our eyesight begins to diminish in our 40s or 50s? Some do. Ask me, I have reading glasses, I bought it. What we want to do is begin to take a look at what it is we believe to be true, and the way to find out what you believe to be true is to look at your life. That's your cue. So you take a look at your life, and then you begin to look at what it is that you would like to begin to create. Now, we know for certain that 2 and 2 is 4, right, Bianca? Okay, so if somebody comes to you and goes, no, it's 5... you can sit back and explain. In fact, you can even show them, like if I take these 2 things and these 2 things and I put them together and then I count them, there's 4. So don't tell me it's 5. We believe that 2 and 2 is 4, and we prove it to people because we believe it. So when we're looking at our life and when we're praying for people, sometimes somebody comes to us and says, you know, I'd like prayer, I'd like treatment or whatever, and they say, you know, I've got this thing going on and it runs in the family, or astrologically my sign says this is going to happen on a certain day. I don't know if anybody reads their horoscope. You know, a certain day, certain month, you're going to get rich or broke or something's going to happen. And we have a choice to believe that or not. Now, if we believe it, we prove it, don't we? We prove it. We prove it's right because it shows up in our life, because we've bought into that idea that that's the way it is. In Living the Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes wrote in here that what would a practitioner do in the case of somebody coming in and arguing for their limitation? And he wrote, I realize that whatever the whole race holds to be true about itself appears, now underline the word appears to be true, because thought works with creative power and with mathematical precision. But even so, I know that the whole thing is an illusion, that even though thought does work with mathematical precision and with creative power, and even through countless millions of people have acted as though they were elephants and believed that they were, they never have been elephants at any time. The line of argument may be used to heal any belief. So what we're doing is we're talking about, in order for our affirmations, to take an affirmation and actually give it power, we must believe in something other than whatever's going on. So let's say we have a health issue. Anybody ever have one of those? We have a health issue, and we defend it. We talk, it runs in the family, it happens at a certain age. My mother had it, my father had it, my sister, brother had it, so I'm going to get it. And we begin to run along that belief. In order to change it, sitting back saying, I'm health, I am health, I am health, probably won't erase that pattern, because that pattern is so ingrained in us. Am I right? So what we have to do is begin to negate the power of the illness. We deny that it has power. So we go back to source. We go back to first cause. There is only God, and it is good. Am I right? Yes. There is only God, and it is good. Am I right? Yes. And if I'm right about that, can I possibly experience anything opposite to that? Only if I believe something else. So we believe in the power of disease. We believe in the power of the economy. We believe in the power of, name it, right? So we have to sit back. Food makes you fat. That is not true. I know people who are this big around who eat 10 times what I do, and they're like little bitty things. And I'm going, well, how did that happen? Because I believe when I have a donut, it lands here. They believe they have a donut and they'll have a second, and they never gain weight. Why? Because they say they never gain weight. The minister who trained me always said, I never get sick, ever. And she never, ever did. She's still preaching, still doing stuff. I don't, she must be 80 now. Or I don't know, she's getting up there. I better be careful what I say. Never, ever, ever, never missed a day of work because of sickness, ever. Why? Because she said, I never get sick. I just don't. I'm healthy, period. There was no other option for her. So when we take a look at our lives, we want to take a look at the options. You see, our race belief is that, within the Canadian culture, we get the flu every December or January, right? And so we do. And, flu season's coming around, so then the inoculations come out, right? So we can get our flu shot. And we get our flu shot because we know if we don't, we're going to get sick. And guess what? We get to be right. You see, we get to be right. If we believe that we are going to get sick, we do. If we believe in the power of illness as something separate from God, then it can be an experience in our life. So we want to take a look at our lives, not to sit back and say, I'm bad and wrong because I have arthritis, but to go, wow, okay, I have arthritis. What is my belief system? And what I want to do is sit back and say, this has no power in my life because it's not God. It is a negative use of the infinite power of the one. So it only has the power that I allow it to have in my life. It doesn't hit everybody. I mean, you got Bianca in her stilettos looking fab, and me wearing flats or almost flats, right? And she's like a month older than I am. It's not right. What? There's something wrong with this picture, right? What is it that we're believing and buying, right? There used to be great big billboards, cancer kills. Okay. And then we go and we run for it, don't we? We run for cancer. I'm not saying let's not raise money for research and whatever because there's a belief system about it, but we have to take a look at these core beliefs and go, wait a minute, cancer doesn't have power in my life, God does. So I'm going to sit back and say, yes, cancer exists. It is the experience of many people. I know many people who have been dealing with, are dealing with it, and yes, it is part of the experience of the consciousness of the people of our world, especially North America. I don't know about the rest of the world because I live here. But what I know is it is not more powerful than God. It is not more powerful than God. Do you know any person who has been healed? Anyone? Anybody been healed ever? Anyone ever changed their financial situation ever? Anyone ever all of a sudden healed something that you went, how did that happen? Ever? How could that happen if divine perfection were not always the natural state of being, and so we can return to it? See, if I believe that I am subject to illness and I'm going to be sick and I'm going to keep being sick or fat or whatever I got going on for me, I get to be right. Don't you love being right? That's one of the things we might want to give up is that, I want to be right. How about we decide to be happy instead? How about we sit back and we change the game and we go, yes, I'm going to say an affirmation that I'm healthy, strong, vital, and vibrant. And then when that little thought in the back of my head pops up and goes, yes, but you've got this pain, and, it hurts. And I'm going to go, whoa, just a minute. You got no power over me. You have no power over me. The only power in my life is God. Say after me, the only power in my life is God. The only power in my life is God. That's it. Cancer doesn't have power. The cold, the flu, they don't have power unless I give it to them. Are you ready to give it to them? And if you are ready to give it to them, I invite you to step back and tell yourself every moment of every hour of every day when you think about it, this has no power here. This has no power here. If you've got something showing up in your life that's making you a little uncomfortable, isn't really working well for you, just sit back and tell yourself over and over, no, it's there. I see it, and it has no power over my life. So repeat after me. A negative condition has no power over my life. Doesn't that feel better? So we want to sit back and take a look at what's going on and be honest about what's going on because where I am is where I am. No lying about it is going to change it. I'm rich. Yeah, right. I'm thin. Mm-hmm, yeah. Who you trying, kid? No, by buying it. So we want to sit back and go, I am where I am, and it's all God, and it's all good, and it's the perfect place for me to be because it is where I am. And my life has brought me here. My thinking has brought me here. It has created this body. It has created this experience. It has created this opportunity. It is all God. It is all good. And in that place of this is all God and this is all good, I begin to relax and I breathe. Now what? Now what? Because God's the power in my life and God is infinite. It can do anything. It's all powerful. Holy crap, if I... Oops. Oops. Evan's in the house. But if I believe, if I sit back and I look at my life and I go, I'm going to make a difference in my life today, and I'm going to do that by focusing on the real power in the universe. I realize that my thoughts are creating my life. I realize that I am the creator. I know it is not possible for me to create something that is false. So why am I believing in all the false around me? Why am I believing or buying into the illusion? Why not sit back and go, wow, all right. My thinking activates the law of mind. The law of mind creates all things. Everything is God. And my thinking shapes it, forms it, and brings it into my experience. Now, I'm not a bad person because I gained a few pounds or have arthritis or had arthritis. Let me just cancel that. That doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't even make me to blame for it. It just reminds me that in my consciousness, I have bought into the illusion that somehow there is a power other than God. But I can correct that, can't I? Can you correct that? Can you begin to look at your life today and go, wait a minute, let me just back up the truck a bit. I've been believing in poverty. I've been believing that donuts make me fat. I've been believing in limitation and lack. I've been believing in these things and buying into them. I've been believing that. That's okay. A lot of it I was taught. I mean, if you watch the news, you'd think the world was a terrible place. But what if it isn't? What if it's a beautiful place? What if today we decide to remake our own personal realities? Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could look at your life and go, well, here's where I am, but here's where I'd like to go? So imagine for a moment you want to go to Montreal this afternoon. Odds are pretty good you have to start right from here because this is where you are. Simple enough. And then there's things that you need to do, right? You can't just sit here all afternoon or you won't get there. So we have to begin to explore our lives and get conscious about our lives. Consciousness is what's creating. So when I make an affirmation, I have to be willing to check into my back talk. Because am I telling myself it's not possible? Because we do that. Or we have a friend who says, you know, we could do spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer, and we could change this circumstance, and we'll go, we can't actually, and we can't because, arthritis cannot be cured that way, so, that will never happen. And you know what? We get to be right. What limitation are you fighting for within your own mind or within your group of friends? In what ways have you bought into the idea that somehow you can't do certain things? Certain things are not available for you. What if you switched it all around? What if you decided today that from this moment forward, you were going to review your life on a daily basis with a sense of gratitude and love? And that as you looked at the beautiful illusions you have created, that you checked in to go, are these the ones I really want? Imagine for a moment that you're an actor on the stage and you're writing the script and you're the director and the producer and you're filming it and you're doing everything. You're it. Could you not write whatever you want? I mean, think about it for a minute. If you were writing the story of your life and you were going to act in it and would you make it the way it is right now? I would change a few things. Moving forward, I would change a few things, and you can call me on that in a few months. If you are the writer, the director, the producer, if you were the one shaping your very existence, would you shape it exactly the way you see it right now? Or is there a little something you'd like to tweak? Tinker with a little bit. Let's just move that a little smidge. What is it that you believe about life? Because that is going to reflect in your life. That's what you manifest. No one's doing it to you. McDonald's did not make you fat. You going through the drive-thru every day might have had something to do with it, but it had nothing to do with McDonald's. It had to do with the idea that we are creating, that we are the creative power. And when we pray for someone, I want to invite you that when you pray for someone else, if somebody comes to you and says, please pray for me because this is going on, I want you to know for them that it ain't going on. That they are, in fact, perfect, whole, and complete, always have been, always will be, because God is being them. Can you do that? Can you give up the sympathy? You can look for it in the dictionary, but other than that, give it up. Give up the idea of sympathy for someone who is struggling, because you are not helping them by doing that. You're sitting in the ditch with them. As that scripture in the Bible about the blind leading the blind. We have to stop seeing the world as broken and flawed and needing repair. We need to stop seeing each other as broken, flawed, and needing repair. We need to stop seeing everything as some awful thing and begin to go, this is God, this is good. And even if I don't fully see the whole picture, I know it must be, because there is only God. Do you think that might change your life in any way if you begin to look at it from that perspective? Yeah. So let's do that. We're coming up to Adventure in Faith. September, yee! I love Adventure in Faith. I want to invite you to start your adventure today. Adventure into the idea that there is only God and it's good. And every time you catch yourself going, this is bad, interrupt that thought and go, it feels like that. However, if there is only God, and God is good, this must be an illusion fabricated from my imagination because I bought into last night's news, the latest medical journals. I went on the internet and said, I stubbed my toe, now what? And a whole list of things popped up that gave me all these health things about what happens when, where, and how my genes I don't even fit in them anymore. How could they possibly impact my life? We are the creator with God. And you see, we have a loving God that goes yes to everything. As you wish. Isn't that great? And you wish your parents had done that when you were little? Yes, yes, yes. That's what God's saying to you every minute of every hour of every day, to every single thought, word that you express and think about. Yes. Traffic's terrible today. I'm never going to get home on time. Yes, as you wish. My sister-in-law is a pain in the as you wish. Why are people so rude all the time in lineups? Like they're just nasty. As you wish. Yes. Why is it that I can never win anything? How come I'm so unlucky? As you wish. Why is it that I'm sick all the time? Yes, as you wish. Are you getting this? You see, you are so powerful, you have no idea. And what you want to do is get an idea that you are powerful. Not that you're sick or broken or flawed or whatever, but that you're powerful. Could you do that? Yeah, sure. For how long? Till the next guy cuts you off in traffic, probably. Or the doctor goes, wait a minute, let me just listen to your heart one more time. What's wrong? We are creating. Every minute, every hour, there's a creative power that we're using. How are we using it? And when we notice that we're using it in a way that would be harmful to us or to the environment or to the world around us, why would we not take a moment and interrupt that and go, whoa, wait a minute. Cancer has no power in my life. Might be my current experience, but it has no power. What has power in my life? What has power in your life? The answer is God, universe. So what has power in your life? Wow, this is not getting through. Okay, let's try that again. What has power in your life? God. Okay. So God, universe, first God, that's it. That's the only thing that has power in your life. And your thinking is what moves it into manifestation. So what is it you're thinking about? Are you thinking about how broken and flawed you are? Are you thinking about how hard life is? Oh, life is so rough and tough. It sucks. Or are you interrupting the negative thought to say, wait a minute, maybe if I begin to look at where the real power lies, then I can create the life that I've been dreaming about. You know how some people really do it? I'm always amazed by Bob Dylan, because I think he's one of the worst singers ever. He sold a lot of albums. But I don't think it was his voice. I think it was his attitude and his lyrics and his brilliance. The Voice people could get past, well, some. I love the lyrics. I could read his lyrics all the day, all night. Why is it that one person who's brilliant really succeeds and another person never gets anywhere? Because the world's against them? No. Because God says, yes. I'm not enough. Yes. I'm not very popular. Yes. I don't think I can. Yes. Well, maybe it won't happen for me. Yes. Do any of these things ring true for you? Stop it. Stop it. 2 words. If you write down nothing else today, just write down stop it. Make a mental note. 2 words. Stop it. Stop believing you are limited. Stop believing you are finite. Stop believing that you cannot win. Stop believing that poor you, poor you, poor you. Stop it. Just stop it. We should have titled it that. Stop it. Stop thinking how small you are, how limited you are, how hard your life is, how difficult it was, how terrible your parents were when you were little, or how many challenges you've had to overcome. So what? So has everybody. I could talk to every one of you in this room, and I guarantee every one of you has had some challenge somewhere along the way that you could blame for your current reality. But the truth is that what you think about life is what you bring about. And so we can take our negative history and go, yeah, well, ditch it, because it's already over anyway. I can't change it, right? Can you change your past? Anybody here figured out how to do that? Then let's give it up. Let's give it up and begin to look at what it is we truly desire. If thought creates our life, if thoughts are what manifest in our experience, why do we think that we're less than what we are? Why do we believe we're so small, unimportant, limited? Why do we believe those things? Why did we believe the lies we were told by other people who were also afraid and who also thought they were flawed or broken somehow? Why do we believe them? Because it's how we were trained and conditioned, correct? But the truth is, you're not. You are mighty. You are powerful. You're created in the image of the likeness of God. So I know without a doubt that you are, in fact, perfect, whole, and complete, and that anything other than that is merely a temporary illusion. Because maybe you forgot that you are this infinite creative being, that the power of God in you is moving through you right here, right now, and you can use it in any way that you choose. You can create a life of great prosperity, health, love, by shifting your belief in your limitation. There is only one power in the universe, but I get to use it any way I choose. And it will say what to me? Yes, as you wish. Every time. So I want you to just check in right now. What thought have you got running? What experience is going on in your life right now that you wish was different? Wishing will not get you anywhere. Have you ever noticed that whatever you want, you don't have? Because whatever you want, you can't have? Because God's going to give you what? Wanting. So we have to begin to change our thinking. We have to negate the power of the negative, the destructive. We need to negate that and go, whoa, whoa, back it up. That has no power in my life. The only power in my life is God, and it is good. And so I know that whatever seems to be the challenge right now, that there is a solution. It's already realized, and I am open to it here and now, which does require, however, an open mind. Anybody got one of those? So open your mind to the idea that 2 and 2 is 4. It will always be 4 no matter what, until science and mathematicians come up with something else. But as far as I know, 2 and 2 is still 4. And if I know that and I believe that, no one can tell me differently, correct? If you believe that God is the only power in the universe, that God is fully active in and through you right here and now, that you were created perfect, whole, and complete, that everything about you is divine, could you believe that you are broken? Could you believe that you are sick? Could you believe that you are flawed? This is what I'm asking you to shift. If you want your affirmations to begin to work, they will. But you have to believe in them. And sometimes you have to look at the thing that you don't like. You know, sometimes we try to stuff it down, push it aside, pretend it's not there. You know, it's like getting a whole bunch of bills and putting them in a drawer and closing it. Never, ever, ever, ever going to the doctor, even though you've got a lump the size of a watermelon, and because you're afraid of what you're going to hear. That is not dealing with what is. What we want to do is open the drawer, take a look, and go, oh, okay, now what? God in me, through me, as me is infinite, abundant, creative, all-powerful, all-knowing. So whatever needs to happen to shift this situation is already known, and I am willing to receive it now. I open my mind. Prayer is about opening the mind that I might get that new idea. Are you ready to open your mind? We really like to have it closed. We do. And don't you tell me you don't, because we do. I think all of us go, yes, but it's a real experience. I'm really having it. Yes, you are. I'm not saying you're not having the experience that you're having. You are. What I'm saying is you have the power to change it. How good is that? Isn't that great news? It doesn't matter what is going on for you. You have the power to change it. Wow. And do you know how you change it? Pray 24 hours a day, get down on your knees, lay down your head, bow. No, none of that. Just know that God is the power in your life. That's it. It is so simple, and yet we pretend like it's really hard. How many times have you said in the last week, oh, is this ever hard? Is that ever hard? Anybody? We do it all the time. We want to interrupt the words. So there's a number of words we want to interrupt because they're working in our lives really well and we don't like it. We're familiar with it, so we think it's okay. Life is hard. We want to change that. Life is easy. How about that? Can you say that? Life is easy? Life is simple? Life is good? All the time? Okay. My body is strong. My body is healthy. I feel terrific. So we begin to say these affirmations, and now we really want them to work, right? Do we want the affirmations to work, correct? Have I got that right? Okay. So in order for the affirmations to work, we have to remember that the condition we find ourselves in is not a power unto itself. So it cannot have any power over me or you. Does that make sense? So if I have a disease right now, that might be my experience. And pretending it isn't won't change it. However, if I go, well, my experience is I have some arthritis. Okay. Well, I'd like to change that. So what I know is that this body is created in the image and likeness of God. Arthritis has no power in my life. You got that? I'm not saying I don't have it or it doesn't exist or it's not my current reality, because if I do that, my mind goes, liar. It is, look, yeah, right? Tell me a story. It's going to tell you lots of stories. You have to interrupt it and go, wait a minute. Yes, arthritis is there and it has no power over me. My bank account has no power over me. My creditors have no power over me. My neighbor has no power over me. The guys driving down the 401 on either side of me, in front and behind, they have no power over me. And they have no power over you. Does that make sense? Yes. So when you're doing your affirmation, when you're taking a look at shifting your life, when you're looking at beginning to create something new, something different, something better, we have to say, okay, so here's the illusion that I'm experiencing. I don't like it very much, so now what? Okay, let me remember, this has no power over me. It's a powerful statement. And then I begin to say, but what I know is that God is the power in me and through me. That God created me in its image and likeness. That God within me and as me is powerful, creative, it is good, it is loving, it is all that is. And if I can live there, I can begin to create something different. Am I right? Have you ever known anyone to heal themselves of a disease? Of course you have. Why can someone do that? Because health is our natural state of being. And because it is our natural state of being, we can return to it when we stop believing in the illness and begin believing in the divine presence of God as health, our body as health. So we have to shift. We have to shift the story. We have to look at the stories we're telling and know that they are creating our suffering. We have forgotten who we really are. Time to remember God stuff, universal good stuff. That's it. So how do we do it? How do we do it? We notice our condition, we acknowledge our condition, and we remember it has no power, right? And then we remember that God is the power acting in our life. How simple is that? Does that sound easy? It might be one of the hardest things you do to begin to forget the patterns that brought you to this moment, but you're in this moment for a reason. And because you're in this moment, maybe it's a reminder of who you really are and that you can begin to live the life that God intended for you to live. We're all unique, we're all special, beautiful, fabulous, marvelous, creative beings. We're all God stuff. And so we want to begin to think in that way. And then the affirmations that we're telling ourselves, we might even believe them. We might stop buying into the idea of 2 and 2 is 5 and begin to accept that no, in fact, it is 4. And so when I do my calculations in my bank book and reconcile it every month, it'll actually make sense. That's an important thing. The universe is just like mathematics. It operates on a principle of law. All the time, whether you know it or you don't know it, it is still operating in your life. And so you have a choice to make. To continue to hold to the old beliefs that have brought you suffering, pain, frustration, anguish, or to sit back and go, no, I'm going to interrupt it because I know that God is the power in my life. What are you up for? God? God stuff? Good stuff? Yeah? You ready to remind yourself every moment instead of telling your best friend, oh, my doctor said my cholesterol is, I don't know what cholesterol is supposed to be, but, and go, no. Yeah, the doctor has a belief about something, but that's okay. I don't have to believe what he said or she said, right? Instead, I can go, this is a God body. This is a good body. Wouldn't that be a great affirmation? This is a God body. This is a good body. Why don't you tell yourself that? This is a God body. This is a good... Come on. Again. Yeah, doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel better than going, oh, I'm so sick and tired? This is a God body. This is a good body. This is a God life. This is a good life. Can you say that? Yeah. Like, you smiled. That's great. You smiled because it feels good to say something good about yourself, doesn't it? Why not do that every day? When you wake up in the morning and you're creaking out of bed, Okay, maybe that's only me, but when you're getting out of bed in the morning and the ground is there and the sun is shining, or it's raining, or it's snowing, or it's freezing rain, or whatever's going on, and you wake up and go, oh, thank God I'm alive. Because you know the alternative, right? So why not get excited that you have life, that you have a new day, that in this now moment you can create anything you want? Oh, and no, you can't actually. Whatever you want, you can't have. Right. Just reminding myself of that. What you want, you can't have. However, what you know to be true for you is yours. You are an heir to the kingdom. Repeat after me. I am an heir to the kingdom.
I am an heir to the kingdom.
The entire kingdom is mine.
The entire kingdom is mine.
I am blessed. All is well. Because I'm God's stuff. It's just about looking at your life, recognizing it for what it is, and making a new choice. Are you ready to do that? Yes. All right, God bless.
If you continue to think what you've always thought, you'll continue to get what you've always got. If you continue to say what you've always said, then the dreams you're dreaming are surely dead. If you continue to walk that same old walk and continue to talk that same old talk, don't you know you won't grow in the ways of the Lord? If you continue to feel as you've always felt, you'll never be able to help yourself. If you keep believing what you've always believed, then what you'll be getting, you'll continue to receive. If you continue to wait that same old way, your life will be the same every day. And you know you won't grow in the ways of the Lord. You got to change your point of view. Change all the things you do. Dig way down inside of you and let the light of God shine through. You got to change, oh, in every way. Step by step, day by day. No more waiting, hesitating. Change your life today. If you continue to think what you've always thought, you'll continue to get what you've always got. If you continue to say what you've always said, then the dreams you're dreaming are surely dead. If you continue to walk that same old walk and continue to talk that same old talk, don't you know that you won't grow in the ways of the Lord? You got to change your point of view. Change all the things you do. Dig way down inside of you and let the light of God shine through. You got to change, oh, in every way. Step by step, day by day. No more waiting, hesitating. Change your life today. Change all the things you do. Change all the things you do. Dig way down inside of you and let the light